everyone, and welcome to My FM21 Top 3, a brand new series on the channel where I take a category of Football Manager and share my top 3 options in that said category. Now, a disclaimer before we get going, these are just my opinion. Some of it's researched, some of it's based on numbers, some of it's based through having used a particular aspect of Football Manager and found this to be true for my own sense of how I play the game, and others, to be honest, might just be because it's a Tuesday morning and that's how I feel at the time of recording. So don't get cross with me if your favourites are not on this list. Share with me who are your favourites, but let's be nice and have a decent conversation about it in the comments below. For today, it's all about best first season strikers, so let's get into it. So the way this series is going to work is I'm going to count down my top 3. I'll put a couple of honourable mentions in there as well, and then we can have a conversation about it in the comments below as to whether you think I got it right or wrong. But before we get going in today's episode particularly, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please feel free to let me know something about yourself in the comments below and say hi. If you're returning to the channel having previously watched some stuff before, then you're very, very welcome. Either way, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button for me on this particular episode if you could. That'll help a brand new series get traction, so that's really important. Check all of my links in the description below for Discord and Twitter and Patreon and all sorts of good stuff. But let's do this and count down my top 3 best first season strikers. So, in at number 3 comes Ciro Immobile from Lazio. 30 years old, he's got a wages of 130 grand a week, 43 million pound rating in terms of value. The reason that he's in at number 3 is because 1, he's a very good striker, great finishing, great composure, a decent amount of pace, which might also be lacking a little bit in the rest of this top 3 here and there, but he's got really good pace, very clinical, off the ball is really strong, fantastic determination, but at 30 years of age he's still got a couple of seasons left in him, and compared to the others on the list also, his value is decent and his wages aren't as high. And so overall I think this is a phenomenal striker for one season. If you open the box and play the game and you are looking for that one striker, in at number 3, Ciro Immobile. If you have not checked him out or had the opportunity to use him, I strongly advise you give it a go. This is a brilliant all-round striker. At number 2 on the list, we have a very well-known player for everybody pretty much watching, and that is Harry Kane. The reason Harry Kane is at number 2 is that he is, again, brilliant in front of goal, fantastic composure, lacks a little bit of pace, to be honest. His physicals are not the best, but the reason he's a step up on Immobile is because he gets involved in the play much more. Passing of 18, vision of 18, really great work rate and teamwork, can drop in that deep lying forward role, get involved in the play, bring other people into play off those wide areas, specifically those inside forwards, and is a fantastic option if in the first season you are looking for a player that ultimately does really get you a bucket load of goals if you play him right, but also does a little bit more also. So Harry Kane goes in at number 2. The first of our honourable mentions goes to Romelu Lukaku, currently playing out in Inter Milan in Italy. He's 27 years old, still got a plenty of opportunity to play well for a few seasons. But in season 1, the reason that he got onto very close to the list, but not quite for me, is that whilst all of his attributes suggest that he's an exceptional striker, and he is, I think there is still a little bit of an opportunity for him to slightly fluff his lines occasionally and not be quite as clinical as some of the others. The key things for me is he's not involved in the play as much as Harry Kane, and I don't think he's as consistent in front of goal as Immobile is, so therefore he didn't quite make it into the top 3. I think ultimately, though, you can't go too wrong with Romelu Lukaku. And if this is your option, if you're either playing as Inter Milan or you've just decided to go down this route, you have an exceptional striker. Didn't quite make my top 3, though. Did he make yours? Let me know. The other honourable mention goes to Erling Haaland, currently out in Dortmund, playing for Borussia Dortmund, and pretty much everybody's number one striker in theory for a lot of what we do in Football Manager. Most of the time, by season 2 or 3, he's into most of the big sides if we're playing as them. I understand that, but reasons for why he didn't quite make my top 3 is that the top 3 best first season strikers are not based on potential, and I still think in season 1, at the age of 20, he's not quite at his peak just yet. You can see that he lacks a little bit in the heading front. He's also got a little bit of a problem for me in terms of teamwork and work rate, etc., and his decision and concentration. So all of those combined mean that whilst he develops into pretty much the perfect striker moving forward, just for the first season on its own, I don't think he quite beats out the other 3 that are on my list. So, number 1 on the top of my list of best first season strikers for Football Manager 21 is Robert Lewandowski, currently playing in Bayern Munich, 31 years of age, reached the absolute peak of his powers at the age of 31, hasn't diminished much at all yet. I mean, there might be a little bit of a call for a bit more pace, but other than that, this is pretty much the perfect striker for a first season in Football Manager 21. The reason that he outdoes Kane is because I think he's a little bit more consistent and prolific in front of goals specifically, although he doesn't quite get involved in the play as much as Kane does in terms of being having the opportunity to get involved in the passing play with a smaller amount of vision as well. But everything else in front of Kane, I think, makes Lewandowski the ideal first season striker. He's, I think, more consistent than Immobile in front of goal, has that little bit more experience than the honourable mentions that we had in our list in terms of Haaland and Lukaku. And ultimately, if you get Lewandowski into your side, whoever you are in whatever division, in that first season of opening the box and playing Football Manager 21, I think you are absolutely guaranteed goals. So there you go, Robert Lewandowski, number 1 in my FM21 top 3 best first season strikers. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and next week we're going to be dealing with a whole different new category and checking out my FM21 top 3 in... You'll have to wait till next week to find out.